Gators and stake their claim for the national championship of the 1996 season.
Congratulations. I think what's going to be a national championship for you, we've got to let you say how you feel at this moment.
Swanee, God has smiled on the Gators.
Fired up, 2nd down and 10. Matthews rolling to his right, in trouble, can't find anyone. Now he throws it for Harrison Houston, who makes the catch. He's in the open field. Harrison to the 20. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Gators.
Thing back to throw, pumps and fires the ball over the middle. It's Doering! It's Doering! Got a touchdown! Doering's got a touchdown! Oh man! Doering's got a touchdown! Turned around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down.
All right, we're at Spurrier's for our annual Gators Roundtable, which is great because we have an actual round table. We have 3 men here who need no introduction, but we'll mention these guys. By the way, Coach, if Doering looked like that when he played football, would he have been better?
Been a tight end.
Well,
But we'd flex him out.
flex him out. Okay. Chris Doering is here from the SEC Network, of course, former Gator great. The head ball coach who needs no introduction, Steve Spurrier, and Shane Matthews, SEC Player of the Year and Gator Analyst. What's your official title with the radio? Is that right?
Color Analyst.
Color Analyst.
I believe that's my title.
I think that's a good title.
Dan, how many years is this? We've done this at least,
it's
3 or 4?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's
kind of a rite of passage through the summertime.
Kind of tells us that fofootball can't be far behind. In Jacksonville, it's the kingfish tourney. When we see the picture in the paper of the eye of the kingfish, we know football's not far behind because we always had that in late July. But anyway, let's jump right in. Let's talk about this Florida football team. Let's talk about DJ Lagway because we get news this week he's in a boot. So my first thing that I think of is he injury prone, Shane?
Track record says yes.
Yeah.
I had some folks on my show said they covered him at, I remember it was the Under Armour All-American game. He had a foot injury there. Obviously, the hamstring last year, the shoulder issue, the hernia, now this calf or whatever. Not good, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's too big and trains too much. And, I tell people now, I think athletes train too much. When spring football was over, we went and played golf, intramural basketball, church league softball.
Sure.
We got away from it.
Okay.
And I just think these guys train too much, and maybe it just takes a toll on their
Everybody's
body.
wowing at how big he is, which is
I think
great.
he's too big.
But, that's the thing. It's like my best off season in terms of gaining weight and getting stronger was in Denver with Ed McCaffrey, and then I go out and tear my Achilles because I think you can become more powerful than your connective tissues. I think the soft tissue injuries are prone when you have a quick twitch guy that's as tightly wound as he was, that Anthony Richardson was. You see a lot of the similarities between those guys. I worry about it going forward a lot, Coach.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole bunch of injuries back in the 90s and so forth. But we ran a lot now. We ran a lot. We didn't maybe lift as much as they do every other week or whatever they do now. I'm not sure. But, I think at some point you can overdo some things.
Yeah. 250 pounds, right? Isn't that about how big he is?
Yeah, that's way too big in my opinion.
I mean, go ahead.
It looks impressive, but
it does.
From a functional standpoint, I think there's a balance. Everybody talking about the availability of him going forward. I'm more worried about the time that's been lost at this point.
A lot of reps.
For a guy that's only a freshman coming off his freshman season to miss all that time during spring, to miss these valuable OTAs and throwing sessions that quarterbacks and receivers have. We're talking about J. Michael Sturdivant needing time with him. Dallas Wilson, you're looking at Vernell Brown. Trey Wilson was out for much of the year. So these guys need to have some time to build some chemistry, and this is the time of year when you get that opportunity.
I feel like now when we start talking about Florida, we almost have to say if Lagway plays, if he takes every snap this season. Now let me say this. Let me ask you guys about the talent level that this young man has. As a fan watching last year, there were about 3 or 4 or 5 times a game where I'd go, ooh.
Yeah, he's talented. He was blessed to throw the football. There's no question about that. Everybody talks about the dual threat thing. I think he's a much better thrower than he is a runner.
I think so too.
he's just blessed with a strong arm. We all know he throws the deep ball very well. Struggles with the easy throws against zone or whatever.
How much of that was from being hurt, though, you think, too? Having to change his game a little bit, maybe the delivery?
Yeah, it could be. I just think, I've always said the easiest and safest throw in football is down the field.
Right.
Right? You make one quick read, let it go.
Okay.
When you have to throw the slants, the curls, the digs, shallow crosses, you have to have vision and anticipate windows. And if you don't have that experience and you're not getting the reps, that could be a problem. But throwing the ball deep, to me, I've always said I think it's the easiest throw in football.
Coach, what did you think of his play last year? What stood out to you about?
I think what stood out, I think I read this, is that every game he started, we won.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, everyone he started and
finished. Because he started the Georgia game.
6-1 as a starter, 6-0 as a starter and finisher.
Yeah. He did get knocked out of that one.
Georgia game, yeah.
But, all these little injuries year-round is concerning, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, our guys, off-season, they're out there throwing to the receivers all summer pretty much, 4 or 5 days a week, right, Shane? And so it became a habit of, where to throw the ball and receivers where to expect it and all that. So he hasn't thrown a whole bunch, I don't think, this summer, has he?
I don't think he has. But, Dan, you mentioned, some of the on-field attributes. He's got all of them, right?
Yeah.
But I think the most impressive thing, particularly for a guy that age, is his leadership. He's got a command. I think the best thing that you can say about a quarterback, something that Shane did, that Danny did, is elevate the play of the other 10 guys in the huddle.
Yes.
And I think not only does he do that, but he attracts people that want to be a part of the team. And he's brought accountability for a young guy.
Right.
He's brought accountability, much needed discipline to a team that was very undisciplined before he got there.
It doesn't matter as much, but to me, along those lines, just impressive. Like at SEC Media Days, the way he talked, the way the things that he said, the things that he talked about.
Humble for a guy that's that successful, the humility that he has, it's impressive.
Yeah. Down the road, this is a young man who can play professional football, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was the Gatorade National Player of the Year. He's very gifted.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. I think, in today's world, this is not just about DJ Lagway. It's all across college football, right? They got so many people in their camp now, agents and marketing guys. They're like, don't push it until you're 100%. Back in our days, we didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
You went.
He didn't have an entourage, Coach?
No, you just went and played.
You just called him into the office.
And sometimes I'm concerned that some people are saying, like, look, if you don't feel 100%, you're never 100% when you're a football player.
Right.
Don't go participate. So
I do think he has some great people in his camp. You've been around his parents before. It's a different situation. You can see why he's the way he is if you get a chance to talk to his mom and dad.
Well, we're going to go under the assumption that he's going to play, and we'll see, right? But for me, as a fan and alum, I got legitimate hope this year about this Florida football team. Maybe it's been fake hope years past. I think they got a heck of a roster. Am I wrong? But then I see them picked, like Coach was telling me earlier, 6, 7, 8 down there. I feel like they can.
That speaks to the talent of the league in general.
But I feel like they can play with anybody.
You can be a top 15 team and be 6th or 7th in the league.
Fair enough.
I do think they've upgraded. I thought that was the point of emphasis this offseason, was upgrading the talent around DJ. The offensive line looks the part. Both lines of scrimmage look the part. The skill players. I think Coach Napier's staff has done a good job of evaluating receivers in the transfer portal, and they've got another good one in Sturdivant. The one thing I go back to is, I know it's hard to keep momentum from one season to the next, particularly with roster turnover, but like the lack of preparation 2 years ago against Utah in the opener, the lack of preparation last year in the opener against Miami, you got to show me, even though it's LIU and USF before LSU, you got to show me that you have those mistakes ironed out, that you're ready to play much better than the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. Where are you on their talent level, Shane?
Oh, after the spring game, I was like, they got some dudes now.
Yeah.
They got guys that can score touchdowns.
That's taken a while to get those guys, but
as a quarterback, you got to have good players around you to be successful. And I think now they got guys they can throw shallow crosses to, slants, whatever, and they can go to the house. Past few years, I wasn't sold on that. I think O-line play, they've got a couple guys on first team All SEC, which we haven't had in a long time.
Yeah.
The running back room, we're loaded there. So offensively, I think this team can be really, really explosive. You just got to wait and see.
Yeah. They said the running back Baugh is the strongest guy on the team, or,
The running back group is the strongest group on the team, Coach. They're about 5 deep.
Tell me how that ground game can help, Coach.
Well, no question. This is Billy Napier's best team, we believe. The only thing, I hate talking about schedules. Everybody's talking about schedules.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Everybody's talking about schedules.
We're going to get to it.
And I was just thinking, back in our day, in the 90s, we played Tennessee and FSU that were in the top 5 in the nation.
Yep.
And FSU played Miami and us.
Yep.
So we were the only 2 that played 2 out of 5, whereas Nebraska, they were the winningest program. They didn't play any of the top 5.
Right.
And that had something to do with it.
Yeah. Sure.
So now we're playing Miami, FSU, and 8 conference games. And I remember when I was hired here, I was sort of giving that bravo speech. Bring on Miami.
Yes, he did.
We ain't afraid of Miami. And about a year later, Arnsberger came in and he said, Coach, you don't really need to play Miami. I said, you know what? You're right. Get them off
Every year.
Yeah, you're right. It was,
They weren't that good back in the
they were.
early in the 90s, but they weren't as good as it went on.
Yeah.
But they were top 5 in the nation wins all through the 90s.
Yeah,
So, we didn't need to play them. And but obviously, when you look back, in our 12 years, we won just 1 national championship. Bobby Bowden was in the top 5 every year for 14 years. He only won 2.
Yeah.
So the schedules beating
Matters.
each other. Yeah,
Yes.
beating each other, and this, that, and the other has a lot to do with who.
How many do you think you could have won if we had a 12-team playoff field? We would have been in the playoff every single year with what we did.
Yes.
And
we'd have a chance to win a lot more.
And I think the SEC will get the benefit of the doubt this year. You go 9-3 with a schedule like Florida has or Oklahoma has, you're going to be in, especially after those 3 from the league got left out last year, and we saw how SMU and Indiana fared.
Yeah. Yeah. On a side note, Coach,
certainly.
I was just thinking, as you mentioned the 90s, if it was the way it is now back then, which one of these guys would have asked for more money when they came in after every season?
Not me.
Would have been Shane or would have been Chris?
Well, both of them came from down here to up here. So they probably were just thankful.
We'd be thankful.
That's right.
We'd be thankful for free Coke Zeros.
Yeah.
So, like,
They would have been thankful.
the idea of ETN going from Florida to Georgia or Pyburn going to Florida to LSU, I couldn't even imagine Shane or I thinking about making a move like that.
Yeah. That one didn't.
Regardless of the money.
And that's our Jacksonville guy, Jack, so that one didn't sit well with us back over there. And but we'll see. We'll see how it works out for everybody. I get it. It's a different world now. I want to get back to the schedule, though. Obviously, it's the same schedule as last year. We're just flipping home and aways, right? That's basically what we're doing. But it is tough. I mean, it's tough, and everybody knows it. I like their mantra. I like how they're looking at it. Looks like Napier.
Spot the ball.
Spot the ball. Let's go. Well, you got to do something. When you're good, the schedule's not as
well.
When you
do you ever remember talking about the schedule? I don't remember us talking about the schedule.
And I said last year, everybody, I think it was the number 1 most difficult schedule in America.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
People playing too much, especially if you're a season ticket holder, that we're playing too many cupcakes. Well, you're not anymore.
Yeah, right.
And I'm the same way this year. Embrace it. A lot of these teams are different. They don't have the starting quarterbacks coming back. The 4-game stretch from LSU, Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M will define the season, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think worst case scenario, we have to find a way to go 2-2. Worst case scenario. If we don't, it could not be it may not be the year we thought.
The schedule you've already played it last year, so people aren't talking about it as much as they did last season.
Right.
I think they've already said, hey, we fared pretty well against the same opponents last year, and to Shane's point, they're different. But looking at the schedule, it's not only who you play, but when you play them and where you play them.
Right.
Where your bye weeks fall. Well, we have a bye before Texas and Georgia.
Right.
Couldn't have any better bye weeks there. Getting Texas to come to the Swamp this year.
Well, they at least owed us that when they did the schedule, didn't they?
I mean, I think it's a moot point after it's tough, but every player wants to play the best competition, man. You're talking about getting to play Texas, man. I would love to have the opportunity to play against Texas.
Yeah, Coach, what are your thoughts about it? Because you just talked about the schedule and how important it is, depending on how it sets up. What are your thoughts about this schedule with Florida?
Well, it's already been named the toughest in the nation, I think. So that's looking at it. I mean, we can still get in the 12-team playoff.
Right.
That's all anybody talks about now.
Right.
We used to talk about who's going to win the conference.
Yeah.
Win your division and try to win the conference.
These guys want to avoid the conference game, which is crazy.
I know it.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about winning the conference.
You wouldn't like that.
No.
You like the rings back in the day, too, man.
Yeah, the whole country's gone away from that.
Yeah.
Because there's only 4 conferences now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wish the players would have more to play for than just the national championship.
Yeah.
You know, we used to, at least we play for the division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then SEC. And
Yeah.
if you're fortunate to play for the national. But anyway.
You think 9-3 gets you into the top 12 in the country?
Real quick, think about Ohio State. Ohio
Depends
State
on who
didn't
you
beat
win
their biggest
or lose to.
rival. They didn't win the Big Ten, but they won the national championship.
Yeah.
Ryan Day was basically fired.
Yeah.
until
Oh, they wanted him.
And now he got a big raise. They got a big raise.
So 9-3 gets them in. 9-3 gets them in. 9-3 gets Oklahoma in.
Because of the schedule.
No
But do
question.
you think it depends on who those 3 losses are to?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it does, but I think the overall strength of schedule, you can't have the
You
embarrassing.
said that very confidently. Like 9-3, you're in. You really
should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
No
Y'all
doubt in
think
my
that-
mind.
Okay. So, and listen, there's a chance that Texas could come to the Swamp, number 1 in the country, depending on the outcome of the Ohio State game. Although that's a big task for that young quarterback up.
Well, they got a young quarterback starting for them too.
That's
so,
true. That's true.
Not a whole lot of difference between experience there.
How much freshman year to sophomore year? Don't we usually see the biggest jump in play with college football players and at quarterback, especially when you start talking about Lagway?
Or first year to second year, I think is a better way to quantify
okay.
it.
Yeah. Thank you. First year to second year. Do you expect to see that with that young man?
Well, I think so. I mean, I'm sure there's been some guys who went from year 1 to year 2 that didn't play very well.
Right.
I think it just depends on, he's got the talent. There's no question about that. He understands what Billy wants to do offensively. We got the players around him now. It all comes down to reps, right?
Right.
I don't care how good you are.
Right.
If you don't have live reps, even in practice.
Right.
Because, I mean, when you got bodies flying around, when you're in the pocket, from a vision standpoint, timing, when to get rid of the ball, that's crucial to me. And that's my biggest concern is due to no reps in the spring, haven't played a lot of football in the SEC, and then he's going to miss a couple of weeks and who knows how long of training camp. Hopefully that won't matter. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Right.
But history tells you need reps.
Yeah. We got a lot of new quarterbacks in the SEC. Did I just see you pick up the Oklahoma guy?
This dude loves him too.
I'm on that
Matier?
train.
Yeah.
I'm on that
from
train.
Washington State.
Coach, you've seen John Matier much?
I've just heard everybody talk about how great he is.
Yeah. He's great, and he's in this offense that is quarterback friendly. You go back and look. Austin Reed in 2022 in that offense, 48 touchdowns accounted for. Cam Ward, 33. 44 for Matier last year. Even if there's a little drop-off in the SEC.
He's going to have big numbers.
Yeah, great chance to put up big numbers. And if they go to the college football playoff, I think he's got a great chance to be the Heisman winner.
Okay.
He's got a little Baker Mayfield in him.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He's got a chip on his shoulder. Under-recruited coming out of high school.
Right.
Ended up at Incarnate Word as well, and then on that same path to Washington State.
How about that?
Yeah, Cam Ward, kind of similar path.
Who knew Incarnate Word was a quarterback factory,
It
Coach?
is. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who's coaching them up over there, but maybe
They throw it a lot there.
Yeah. What about our coach, Billy Napier? Halfway through last season, he was gone. I mean, I'll give him credit for one thing. He rallied the troops when everybody was off the bandwagon. I mean, everybody. Fans, play. I mean,
you were. I mean,
I was gone.
I was on suicide watch every time I got off the air with
That's
you
true.
last year.
I was on the Kiffin train probably.
Yeah.
And then I got off that, but I'm allowed to do that because I'm a fan. But what about you guys? I mean, you guys thought the same thing, though. I mean, y'all were thinking the same thing. It's over.
Ironically, I think what saved his job was the fact that they didn't have anybody on the staff that they could make the interim coach last year. And when you don't have somebody you feel, maybe that's an indictment of who they had hired before, but it ended up saving his job. It's the most remarkable in-season turnaround I've ever seen, and I don't know how he did it, but credit to him for keeping the locker room when they probably could have lost him. But I do like the changes in what he's done. You know, as much as Coach was involved with us on the offense, he still had relationships with the defensive guys. A lot of defensive guys that I talked to said he didn't have a whole lot to do with them. So he's now taking time to be part of the defensive periods.
Yeah.
And they're more competitive in what they're doing. That's always something we did in practice. Our practices were very competitive, and I think you have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they did a better job of being more aggressive on the defensive line towards the second half of the year. The passive sideline-to-sideline stuff does not work in this league. You got to be penetrating. You got to get north and south.
I don't know how you can relate to what he went through because you didn't lose like that, but watching what he was able to do last year, what were your thoughts as Billy Napier sort of turned things around? Obviously, Lagway going in helped a great deal.
Yeah,
as well.
the LSU and Ole Miss games turned it around.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were at home, which
helps,
gives us a little edge. And the guys played well, got a few breaks, and confidence built up and ended up with a decent year last year.
Yeah.
So,
You're around the program. What was the feeling inside the program as this thing was bottoming out and then coming back?
Well, you noticed and you saw that all the players still believed in Billy Napier.
Yes.
There was none of this guys quitting and what have you. I think the biggest thing they did was they played their best players.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing drives me crazier than when you're rotating too many players. I'm like, I don't understand that.
Right.
Play your best players until they need to take a break. But, I just think people like Billy Napier. He's a good man.
100%.
he is a good guy.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think
everybody likes Billy.
Yes.
No question about it.
And I think guys love playing for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, as Coach said, to have good years, the ball has to bounce your way. If you go back and you watch Ole Miss and LSU, we really didn't stop them at all.
Right.
They went up and down the field, but they made mistakes. They turned it over. We get a crucial sack at a certain point of the game, and their two quarterbacks didn't play great. And we took advantage of it.
Yeah.
We also forced them not to play great.
Right, which is part of the game.
Yeah.
But, Coach will tell you all the time, you have to get breaks to have the kind of years you want to have, and that's going to need to happen this year. And I think the defensive front, as Chris said, you got some dudes to penetrate and cause problems.
Right.
And early in the year, we didn't.
Right.
And if you don't have those type of guys, the John Grenards or the Dante Fowlers, which those are the only two that come to my mind that disrupted offenses, teams are going to go up and down the field on you.
Was there truth or one of the things that was talked about with the defensive guys finally going to the coaches and saying it's a little too complicated, let us just play football, let us just was there any of that going on? And to their credit, okay, let's try it this way, and that did work somewhat.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they did or not.
There are reports of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, playing defense, it's all about effort and getting after it, right? You still got to do your responsibility. I know in the past, and this wasn't just under Billy Napier, but sometimes, defensive guys, if you're not gap sound, you get out of your gap and they gas you, that's being selfish. You may not show up in the box score of this amount of tackles, but if you cause double teams and things like that and let your teammates make the tackle, I think that was happening maybe during Mullen and early in Billy's career, but I was very impressed the way the entire team responded with all the noise in the system.
Let's be honest, too. They set the defense up for failure. Going out and hiring Ron Roberts while you had Austin Armstrong, not clearly defining the roles and who was in charge and whose voice you needed to listen to.
Well, that's what he did.
Yeah. It was not well executed.
Yeah.
If you needed help for Austin Armstrong, then you needed to better define. I talked to players who didn't know who was doing what, or the communication between the defensive staff was not good. You've seen changes there, and the communication from defensive players on the field was not good. They weren't clear on what they were doing.
Yeah. It was. It's interesting how that works. Talk a little bit about your relationship as the head coach with your assistant coaches and what you expect out of them. Obviously, and we'll get into the play calling in just a second, but as the man in charge and overlooking.
Always pretty simple.
Yeah.
Since I was the play caller, I was with the offense all day.
Right.
Defensive coordinator called the defense.
And you found that guy that you could trust.
We had several different special team coaches. Punt return, punt block, all that kind of stuff. So everyone knew their assignment, and when it was time for that special team, whether to get on the field, they had them ready to go. So sometimes when you got two or three guys in charge of the punt team, oh, wait a minute, I thought you put him in. No, I put him in. So you just have to have one guy, I think, in charge about all that.
Maybe not 80.
Yeah. So anyway, we got some special team stuff straightened out last year also.
Yeah. Yes.
That was helpful.
I feel like Napier's in a tough spot in this respect, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Billy Napier, let's say Florida has a big year. Let's say they go 9-3, 10-2. And who's going to get credit for that? It ain't going to be Billy. It's going to be DJ Lagway.
But and
they're going to say, I want to see the Gator fans who are not sold on Billy Napier. Well, they got this unbelievable, player quarterback, and so this is why it's happening. I feel like that's where a lot of Florida fans will go, as opposed to, hey, let's give Napier credit. He got one of the best quarterbacks in the country to come to this school, and this school wasn't doing so good.
Isn't it the same situation, Kirby? I mean, then at Georgia, they go get the best players.
Yes, it is the same situation, but Kirby has something that Napier doesn't have.
Well, success earlier. But I mean, prior to that, people. And I guess maybe Mark Richt was a great example before, where you win a lot of games but don't have a lot to show for it, and feel like you're underperforming to some degree, and championships validate you. But I think part of the biggest thing you can do as a coach now, not only recruiting, roster retention is the most important part.
That part is so hard. What do you think? What do you two think of the offense and Coach Napier as the play caller?
I don't have a problem with it because I try to tell people
with the offense or the play calling.
Either one, because here's my thoughts on that.
Okay.
Great play callers just don't fall off trees.
Right.
I mean,
there are not a lot of them.
People only like plays that work, right? So not every play is going to work. I mean, he is one of the greatest of all time because he knew what to call at the right time.
Right.
Now, we threw interceptions at times too. They weren't a great play call. What I would like to see our offense do more of is, more personnel groupings. We're a main 11 and 12 personnel grouping.
Okay.
When your personnel groupings kind of dictate to the defense what they have to do, we have yet to line up in 4 wides or 5 wides. I'm talking legitimate dudes that are in the program as wide receivers. Now we've gone empty, but that's with a tight end, 3 receivers, and a running back, but not with 5 wides. Now, I'm not saying do it every game because then you got to worry about your sight adjust and all that kind of stuff.
Hi, everybody. It's Dan Hicken. Thanks for listening and watching this year's Gator Roundtable, sponsored by Coke Zero. Fill your cup with great taste and zero sugar.
All right. I mean, Coach has been retired for a long time, and he's one that still comes right to the forefront.
Right.
Had a feel for
the current best play callers to me in college football in today's world are Steve Sarkisian, Lane Kiffin, and Jeff Brom.
Okay.
But does Kiffin call them every week?
I don't.
He goes back and forth.
He goes back and forth.
Oh,
but I think those 3 guys to me, they're not afraid to take shots. They're not afraid to run double reverses.
They have a feel, like you described, Coach Spurrier, and anticipating when to take a shot.
But everybody wants. Well, we need to hire an offensive coordinator.
Right.
Tell me who that person is.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do like Russ Callaway. I don't know how much you've had a chance to be around Coach Callaway.
Well, he's been in a lot of passing offenses with the Mike Leach system.
He's dynamic and has an energy about him. Like he's going to be an up and coming offensive coach in college football for sure.
What are your thoughts about the play calling, Coach? I mean, you were to this day still.
It's very interesting that very few head coaches are the play callers.
Right.
You know what? Think about it.
Very few.
Sark at Texas.
Jeff Brom.
And, Brom's up there.
Why don't we talk about defense? Coach Venables going back into calling defensive plays again.
Well, he should have done it when he got there.
True.
Because they hired him because his defenses were pretty good, very good. So I think that'll help them. But what's also interesting is that Washington State offensive coordinator comes with his quarterback.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but it's not something that can be taught, is it? The play calling. You had it, but you can't teach. You can't teach that to somebody else.
I mean, I just think it's something that you're born with. Like you're born with a strong arm.
Yeah.
You're born with how to get off guy press coverage. I mean, you can learn a little bit, but it's all about how do I attack the weakness of the defense and when do you attack it? And I've never understood head coaches that get jobs.
Right.
Hugh Freeze is a great example. Brent Venables.
Right.
You got the job because you were really good on one side of the ball. Then you turn it over to somebody else.
And I think you turned it over for a while at South Carolina, didn't you?
And it didn't last long.
Not really?
No.
I was surprised that was even a consideration.
I've turned it over half or so.
Coach,
late it was.
Coach,
we
the fact
throw the ball. We had a running quarterback. So
did the fact that you played the position that help you at all? Like when I always thought, and again, from a fan's perspective, when I watched him call plays, I always thought he was sort of playing the game in his head, like as a quarterback, and watching the game sort of as a quarterback, and then relaying the plays to you guys. But you tell me, did that? How much did that factor in?
Well, I'm different. I called my own plays in high school, in college,
the whole way. Okay.
And in pro football, I went to Coach Nolan one game, and I said, "Can I call the plays this week?" And actually put some in for us. And in the middle we were like 1-6. So middle of the week, he said, "Yeah, go ahead, you got it." So we upset the Rams that week.
There we go.
But then after that, I called them again. And we went back being mediocre after that, though. But anyway, yeah, not many players have an opportunity to do it anymore for some reason.
Yeah. Why is that? It's just become so specific.
Well, he gave us, even when we played here, we had the freedom to call our own plays, change the play, because he taught us we were trying to call the best play against that defense. There's no reason to just call one that we have no chance of having any success. So he gave us the freedom to change it.
Yeah.
Now, we were wrong sometimes too.
Yeah. What happened if you were wrong?
He would let you know.
Okay.
Well, if he had good reason to change it.
Okay.
And it didn't work. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But, don't check to a bad play if you can help it.
You asked the question, though, like why is it not that way? Like the dynamics of college football has changed, the big business nature of college football, the responsibilities of the head coach, having to deal with NIL stuff, having to re-recruit your roster, the true transfer portals. Like I don't know how you feel, Coach, but I wouldn't want to have to deal with a lot of these things that the coaches have to deal with now.
There's nothing like college football on a Saturday. But I'm just curious how you guys look at the direction, and we talk about this every year, but it changes every year. It changes on a dime. It changes every 6 weeks. The responsibilities of a head coach now, and you mentioned it earlier, you have to recruit. You have to re-recruit your own guys. You have to recruit the portal. I mean, that's why we see some of these guys. I'm going to the NFL.
You know what's funny, though? We talked about this last year at this time.
Yeah.
Everybody was upset with the transfer portal, with NIL money, with this congressional settlement hanging over the head. And then we go out and kick the ball off, and it's the greatest season in college football history. Like on the field, the play is amazing.
Correct.
Parity has been created to where there's a lot more fan bases involved, which I think makes it more fun, more nationally appealing than it's been in recent years.
That's a positive.
No question.
Yeah. But the other stuff that comes along with it.
I wouldn't want to have anything to do with it.
You always said pay the players.
Yeah.
But did you want to pay the 18-year-olds $10 million? I mean, we got to have some regulation at least, right?
Yeah. My suggestion was like $300 to $500 a game.
Right.
Which is better than zero.
Right.
Everybody was getting zero.
You would have been fine with that.
No question.
Yeah. $500 a game, they can pay their parents, come, motel rooms, go out to dinner with your parents, girlfriends, or whatever. But I remember one of our commissioners said they'll never do that. I said, yeah, they will.
Yeah,
too.
they will.
Yeah, money's coming. You can't just give it all to the coaches.
Well,
it's pay for play. It's not NIL. It's not name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
It's what, if it was for jersey sales, autographs, appearances at a car dealership or whatever, that's a different story. Now it's I'm taking the most money that is offered to me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy the amount of money that these kids are getting. And like I said, I'm all for paying them.
Sure.
But not just buying players.
It's the worst kept secret. You're supposed to not have recruiting inducements or pay for play, and yet there's no rule enforcement. When we were young, man, the NCAA was feared. They're not scared of the NCAA now. All you got to do is take them to court. Yeah. And with this clearinghouse thing, you're going to tell me the first time that they say that a deal's not compliant, somebody values what somebody's willing to pay you. So as soon as they turn somebody down, you don't think they're going to go right back to court again?
All right, you guys tell me, can Texas Tech break through? Texas Tech has a businessman, right, who sold his oil company and has billions of dollars, loves Texas Tech. What do you need? They bought a softball pitcher who took them to the finals of the College World Series.
That was the best advertisement for Texas Tech athletics.
Right. So can they become a player in this new world of college football.
I think they can because they have a high school coach that I think he's still their coach. They play faster on offense than anybody in America.
Okay.
Now, they don't stop anybody, but maybe they bought some good defensive players.
Maybe they bought some, yeah. So,
I agree, yeah. I mean, I do think –
But is that part of it now? I mean, is that what we're always searching for?
We have to figure out how it works now. This is the first year with the $20.8 million cap and how teams allocate those funds within their athletic department. So I think time will tell, but it's not as open a spending as it's been the last couple of years.
We mentioned Ryan Day earlier and how he went from, the outhouse to the penthouse, but I can tell he gets really annoyed when you just tell him, well, you guys went out and bought a great team. What do you they obviously got the Downs kid, the safety from Alabama. They got a quarterback. They got running back. But he'll come back with, we recruited this guy, this guy, this guy. So, I don't think coaches like that so much, for that discussion where they're just using the money to buy players.
Well, that's the truth, though.
It is the truth.
Yeah. It is the truth.
Yeah.
But, again, it was a lot of the teams that are always there. Texas Tech could be the first to jump up there with the Alabama, Ohio State, and so forth.
All right. We always do this to sort of end the roundtable, but we like to – and I should really call up – I should have checked last year's. I always like to see what you guys say, what you think the record's going to be for these Florida Gators in 2025. We'll start with you, Chris Doering.
I think probably 8-4. 8-4 seems like again, all of it goes back to the health of Lagway.
Unless we're going under the assumption Lagway plays.
Yeah, I think 8-4 with the schedule is a reasonable.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's an improvement over last year's record. I think a lot of Gator fans feel like they could be in the playoff field this year.
Yeah,
maybe again if they get to 9-3, I think they're in. But 8-4 feels like a good record for me, Coach.
I'll go one up to 9.
Okay,
9-4 and so forth, and. Also, the backup quarterbacks here are pretty decent.
Yeah.
They got a couple of kids that are not bad.
Yeah.
So if Lagway's hurt, that doesn't mean, we have to toss in the towel.
Yeah.
These other guys are not bad.
Well, you were good at that, but most of us toss it in.
Well, I mean, we got running backs now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And an offensive line.
Other guys.
And Napier's offenses are built on running the football
that's
first.
Fair, yes.
So that's going to be a primary attack.
What was the quarterback from Georgia that won the national
Stetson
championship?
Bennett.
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
Man, he's a walk-on kid.
Yeah.
What, he won 2 national championships? Mm-hmm. So, you don't have to have an All-American Heisman guy playing quarterback. You don't have to.
If you don't, though, you better have a lot of good players around him. And that's what Georgia recruited, obviously at a high level. So
I think we got tremendous players around whoever plays quarterback here.
Okay.
And, I think I picked 8 wins last year. I'll go 9 this year.
Okay.
I think that 4-game stretch early is going to determine it. But I'm with Coach, and I've said this on my show multiple times. Whoever thought I would win any games?
Right.
Yeah.
I was not highly touted.
Right.
Noah Brandeis. Who thought he was going to win any games?
Yeah.
So I think people today get so enamored with the 5-stars.
There's no question.
There are more 5-stars that stink than there are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
you saw it with Nico. I mean,
I
don't think Nico's a very good quarterback.
Right.
I think that's a neutral move for them. You know, losing Dylan Sampson's a much bigger deal for them, but. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do think – I feel like Debbie Downer after these guys both say 9-3. I think they beat Texas and Georgia, though. I do think that you get the win over the Horns here at home.
I saw the other day they were tied with Georgia. What was it, 20-20 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and that was without Lagway.
Yeah, because they ran the football right down their throat.
They did.
And with no threat of the passing game, too.
Yeah, so it sets up for, like I said, for me as an outsider, as a fan, as an alum, I'm excited. And I haven't had this kind of excitement. I long for, I don't know, you see these clips on games in the swamp, big games where the place is electric. And it was great last year. I was in the stands for the Ole Miss game, and it was fun. But there ain't nothing like, I hope Texas comes number 1 because I feel like Florida will beat Texas. I think it's hard. Texas, after they dominated the Gators last year, but they dominated them for a different week,
Yeah, but they lost a couple offensive linemen. Yeah. Kelvin Banks is gone. They lost a top couple of receivers as well. They lost some guys on defense. So it's not the same Texas team either.
Yeah. We got some success against the Manning family around these parties. Don't we, Coach?
A little bit. How did
I think Eli
did okay. Eli did good. Eli did good.
Right?
Did we play against Eli?
Yeah, Eli did good.
I wasn't here against him.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see you guys as always. Appreciate everything.
Man. Thanks for having us.
Great insight. Chris Doering, Steve Spurrier, Shane Matthews, our Gator Roundtable. We'll see you next year. Hey gang, Hicken here. Thank you so much for watching 1010XL Gators on YouTube. Before you click away, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and be sure to check out our other team-specific channels on the 1010XL network on YouTube. Appreciate y'all, Googans.